Hi everyone, welcome to this lightning talk. I'm Ribenzaft, the co-founder and CTO here at Epsagon and also an AWS serverless hero. In the following lightning talk, we're going to talk about observability, microservices, and all cool things. So let's talk about what's changed over the course of the years. We started with, host-based monolithic applications, which used to be easy to understand, and then we broke them down into more distributed applications, which introduced microservices, and all of a sudden our applications becomes highly distributed, super complex to understand. The host is usually abstracted, things like manage message queues, manage compute like serverless functions and so on, manage web servers, third-party APIs. This introduces new kind of problems. Among these problems for the engineering and DevOps teams, making it much more harder to troubleshoot, especially if we got distributed flows and async ones, it's becoming very, very hard to understand, correlate the logs, and understand what happened between each and every service. In addition, monitoring, understanding, is my application working properly? Or are there any bottlenecks in my system and how my system is even looks like? Ultimately, both of these things also impact our development because most of the things that we're experiencing in production happens also in the dev environment. And this is where we need a good tool that helps us to gain observability. Observability, in other words, means metrics, logging, and traces. Metrics are pretty straightforward. These are the data set that helps us understand what's going on. And then when there is a problem, we can dig into the logs to gain more information, more raw information that helps us troubleshooting. And the last part of observability, the last pillar of observability, and the most important one today in microservices is tracing. The ability to scope each and every request coming from one end to another, so we'll be able to understand exactly how our requests are moving from each and every service in our microservices. Now, once that we understand what's observability, let's jump into the Epsagon platform. This is the demo environment of Epsagon. You can all reach it at demo.epsagon.com. I'm already at the service map, which, with a single click automatically visualize and auto discovers every resource in my application. In this example, we got a retail store application with some endpoint load balancer and a Spring Web application and a Kafka message queue, consumer, S3 buckets, DynamoDBs, and even some serverless out of it. I can easily click on any resource to get some more metrics about actually what's going on, both in success, errors, or duration. And since I'm seeing a lot of errors over here, I can even drill into the specific traces because now I want another part of the observability to understand exactly what's going on. So this leads me to the trace search screen, which gives me both metrics, aggregated metrics on top of what's going on, and also each and every event that conforms to this filter. I can easily get to each and every event, which will result in a full trace end to end, which tells me, okay, this is the path that the request was going from one service to another. I can easily see what went on this specific service, what ECS cluster and services it's running on. Or for example, if there's been a problem, I can debug the Kafka message to understand exactly, what was the value that one service transmitted to another value, and go to each and every service, each and every call in my stack in an automated way. For example, again, seeing the request headers or the request params that got into this request in the first place. Super simple to understand in this kind of flow instead of troubleshooting logs all over the place. Epsagon also provides out-of-the-box monitoring for almost any kind of infrastructure today that is popular: ECS, Kubernetes, serverless functions, and so on. I'm showing here as an example the ECS dashboard where you can see for each and every service exactly what's going on, CPU, memory, configurations. You can see instances, clusters, tasks, everything comes out of the box. So even if you're interested in logs of a certain task, you can easily expand over the desired task and then I either see the info or get the logs all the way to you. So it makes it much more simple to have everything under the same observability system. Same goes for Kubernetes and functions. You'll get out-of-the-box dashboard that will fit all of your needs without the need to manually manage it or provision or set a persistent data store and so on. Same for Kubernetes. We can see all pods, clusters, nodes, containers, and deployments. And also same applies for serverless functions that we'll be able to have a look over here. So the serverless functions is a very unique to Epsagon. We provide out of the box monitoring for all of the functions, all of the triggers that you're having for each and every one of them, invocations, errors, timeouts and out of memories, and also estimated monthly cost. In addition to that, Epsagon provides alerting to any kind of service that you wish to integrate with, things like Slack, PagerDuty, VictorOps, ServiceNow, and so on. You can customize any kind of alert to any kind of destinations, starting from any exceptions that you're having, or the environment that the code is running, or even the infrastructure that the code is running on, for example, a Kubernetes pod or a cluster, and so on.
All ChefConf attendees today are welcome to start their own trial in Epsagon and get some awesome swag. You can get everything at epsagon.com/chefconf, and as we already know, we support all of the following containerized environments, serverless environments, Kubernetes, and so on. Thank you very much for joining. You're welcome to ping me over at the email or shoot me a message at Twitter. I would love to hear any questions that you're having. Thank you very much for joining.